Breaking news, Storm co-owner Celeste Keaton was fined and suspended from attending the next 5 home games of the Seattle Storm following the incident with Fever fans last night, in which she made a comment about one of their players' supporters. That came directly from the league. So that's the latest.
The WNBA rarely suspends one of its own team owners, which is why the league's latest announcement immediately turned heads across the basketball world. After growing public attention surrounding an incident at a Seattle Storm game, the league confirmed that minority owner Celeste Keaton had been fined an undisclosed amount and suspended from attending the team's next 5 home games. For many fans, the punishment answered one question, but created an even bigger one. What happened that made the WNBA take such an unusual step? The decision didn't come immediately. According to the timeline presented in the source material, the reported incident took place during Tuesday night's game between the Indiana Fever and the Seattle Storm. By Wednesday, videos, fan accounts, and media coverage had spread across social media. Then, on Thursday, the WNBA announced disciplinary action against the co-owner, transforming what began as a courtside controversy into a national sports story. Suddenly, the focus wasn't on the final score or the players on the court, it was on an owner facing league punishment. At first glance, the suspension seemed to be the end of the story. But in reality, it was only the beginning. Why would a league take action against someone from its own ownership group? What happened inside the arena that escalated so quickly? And why were so many people, fans, media personalities, and even players, talking about the same incident within just a matter of days? To understand why the WNBA reached this decision, we have to rewind to the moment this controversy first began, because the events leading up to that announcement are what turned an ordinary regular season game into one of the league's most talked about stories. To understand why the situation escalated to a league suspension, it's necessary to go back more than a week before the Seattle game. The controversy didn't begin courtside, it began with an interview. During an ESPN feature, Sophie Cunningham was asked directly about the topic of protecting girls' sports. According to the source material, she didn't avoid the question or redirect the conversation. Instead, she shared her perspective, saying she had received criticism from people who believed she was hating trans individuals, a claim she rejected. She added that she wanted to extend love, while also expressing her belief that young girls in locker rooms and sports should not have to compete against biological men. Those comments quickly traveled far beyond the basketball world. What started as part of an ESPN interview soon became a widely discussed topic across social media, sports programs, and national news coverage. As more people reacted, the conversation expanded beyond Sophie's exact words and became part of a much larger public debate. Supporters praised her for speaking openly, while critics strongly disagreed with her position. Within days, the focus had shifted from basketball to a broader cultural discussion that reached audiences who may not have followed the WNBA at all. According to the transcript, Cunningham never described herself as belonging to either political extreme. In the ESPN interview, she said she considered herself politically in the middle and explained that labels placed on her online did not accurately reflect how she viewed herself. But once her comments spread across the internet, public reaction developed a momentum of its own. Headlines multiplied, social media debates intensified, and every new discussion introduced the topic to an even larger audience. By the time the Indiana Fever arrived in Seattle, the conversation surrounding Sophie Cunningham had already grown well beyond a single interview. The game itself was no longer just another regular season matchup. Many fans arrived carrying opinions that had formed long before tip-off, and some chose to express those views inside the arena. It was that atmosphere, already shaped by days of national attention, that set the stage for the confrontation that would soon place the Seattle Storm, the WNBA, and everyone involved under an even brighter spotlight. By the time fans began taking their seats inside Climate Pledge Arena, the conversation surrounding Sophie Cunningham had already followed the Indiana Fever to Seattle. But according to the source material, the incident that drew the WNBA's attention wasn't sparked by a confrontation between players. It involved 2 teenage fans who said they simply wanted to support Cunningham during the game. Sitting courtside, they held a sign that read, "Thank you, Sophie, for speaking up for girls." According to their account, the message wasn't directed at the Storm or any individual inside the arena. They said they were quietly watching the game and cheering without causing any disruption. In an interview referenced in the transcript, the girls described what happened next. They said an older woman approached them during the game and initially asked what they were doing. According to the girls, the conversation quickly became confrontational. They recalled the woman saying, "Jesus loves everyone," before allegedly telling them she hoped Jesus could forgive them for what they described as their sin. They also claimed she called them insane and demanded they stop displaying the sign. One of the teenagers later said the encounter left her in tears, turning what she expected to be a night of basketball into a deeply emotional experience. As the story spread, the woman involved was publicly identified in multiple reports referenced by the transcript as Seattle Storm minority owner Celeste Keaton. According to those same reports, the girl's sign was put away, while another fan displaying a different message was reportedly allowed to keep theirs visible. The transcript also cites claims that an attempt was made to alert arena security during the game, but the response was to contact the front office afterward rather than immediately intervene. Those accounts became a major part of the public discussion that followed, although they were presented through interviews and reporting rather than direct league findings. What had begun as a disagreement over a sign was now being discussed as a much broader issue about fan treatment inside a professional sports arena. The focus quickly shifted away from basketball and toward the conduct of team leadership. As clips of the girls' interview circulated online and media outlets picked up the story, pressure on both the Seattle Storm and the WNBA intensified. The question was no longer whether the incident had attracted attention, it was whether the league would respond, and if it did, what consequences would follow. What happened inside the arena might have remained a local story if it had ended there. Instead, according to the source material, the accounts shared by the two teenage fans quickly spread beyond Seattle. Interviews, social media posts, and news reports brought the alleged confrontation to a much larger audience, shifting the conversation from a single courtside incident to a story receiving national attention. As more people weighed in, pressure began mounting on both the Seattle Storm and the WNBA to publicly address what had happened. One of the biggest turning points came when podcast host Brandy Cruz shared the girls' account of the incident. The transcript states that her reporting circulated widely online, leading to extensive discussion across basketball communities and beyond. News outlets and commentators soon picked up the story, while clips and screenshots continued spreading across social media. Within a short period, the focus was no longer just on what had allegedly happened inside the arena, it had become a broader conversation about fan treatment, accountability, and how professional sports organizations respond when controversies unfold in public. As the attention intensified, the Seattle Storm released a public statement. According to the transcript, the organization apologized for the incident and stated that everyone attending a Storm game deserves to feel welcome and treated with respect. The statement acknowledged that comments had been made to two fans but did not describe the alleged exchange in detail. Even with the apology, discussion continued online, with many commentators questioning whether the response fully addressed the concerns raised by the incident. The biggest development came when the WNBA announced disciplinary action against Seattle Storm minority owner Celeste Keaton. According to the transcript, the league imposed an undisclosed fine and suspended her from attending the team's next 5 home games. The decision confirmed that the league had taken formal action, but it also sparked another round of public debate. For some, the suspension represented accountability. Others argued that additional steps or a more detailed public explanation were necessary. Instead of ending the controversy, the league's announcement opened a new question that would dominate the next phase of the story. Was the WNBA's response enough, or had the incident already grown beyond what a single disciplinary decision could resolve? Just when the controversy seemed defined by confrontation and league discipline, the tone shifted in a different direction. Rather than responding with anger or escalating the public dispute, Sophie Cunningham addressed the situation herself through a post on X. Her statement didn't focus on the punishment or call for additional consequences. Instead, according to the transcript, she emphasized kindness while also acknowledging the two teenage fans whose experience had become the center of the story. In her post, Cunningham wrote, "I truly believe there's a safe space and love for everybody. Biological girls, biological boys, trans women, and trans men. Everyone is welcome at my table. You can disagree and still be kind." She then added, "Bravo to those girls for standing up for what they believe," before saying, "You'll be hearing from me soon. Yay for gifts." Those remarks quickly became one of the most widely shared parts of the controversy, offering a different perspective from the heated debate that had dominated headlines in the days before. The response drew significant public attention. According to the source material, many supporters praised Cunningham's decision to recognize the girls while still calling for respect toward people with differing views. commentators highlighted the contrast between the emotional confrontation reported inside the arena and the more measured tone of her public message. Rather than adding fuel to an already polarized discussion, Cunningham's statement became another major development in the story, shifting public conversation from the incident itself to how she chose to respond after it. At the same time, the controversy didn't simply disappear. Media coverage continued, public debate remained active, and opinions about the league's handling of the situation were still deeply divided. Cunningham's post changed the tone of the conversation, but it did not end it. Instead, it introduced a new discussion about leadership, public responsibility, and the role high-profile athletes can play when responding to moments of controversy. As attention remained fixed on the WNBA and the Seattle Storm, the story evolved once again, from a single courtside incident into broader questions about accountability, communication, and how professional sports organizations navigate highly public disputes. With the WNBA's disciplinary decision announced and public statements now on record, the immediate controversy may have reached a turning point, but the larger conversation is far from over. Based on the source material, several facts are clear. The league fined and suspended Seattle Storm minority owner Celeste Keaton. The Seattle Storm issued a public apology, and Sophie Cunningham released her own statement responding to the situation. Beyond those confirmed developments, however, many of the broader conclusions being discussed remain matters of public opinion rather than established fact. One of the biggest questions raised by the incident is how professional sports organizations should respond when conflicts involving fans unfold during games. The transcript highlights criticism from commentators who believe the league and the team reacted too slowly, while others viewed the suspension itself as evidence that accountability had ultimately taken place. Those differing perspectives reflect public debate rather than verified findings, but they demonstrate how quickly a single incident can evolve into a broader discussion about leadership, transparency, and organizational responsibility. The story also illustrates how modern sports controversies rarely remain confined to the arena. According to the source material, what began as an interaction involving two fans quickly expanded through interviews, social media posts, news coverage, and official statements. Within days, the focus had shifted from one reported confrontation to questions about league policies, public communication, and how organizations handle highly visible disputes. The speed of that transition underscores the influence that online platforms and national media can have in shaping the direction of a sports story. Whether this incident ultimately changes future league procedures is something the source material does not establish. What it does show is that one reported courtside interaction led to official league discipline, widespread public discussion, and continued debate over accountability in fan treatment. While opinions about the incident remain divided, the sequence of events demonstrates how quickly a single moment can reshape the conversation around an organization. As future situations arise, many observers will likely compare how they are handled to what happened in Seattle, making this controversy a reference point that could continue to influence discussions well beyond this single game.